Hello everyone, and welcome to Rock Hill, Pennsylvania. I am here at the East Broad Top, a 3-foot gauge tourist railroad that runs from here to a point 6 miles or so to the north. There is, I am sure, wonderful history as to how this railroad came to be and how it came to be preserved. However, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what's it like to ride in the Caboose. Here's our train. We got a locomotive and 4 cars. The East Broad Top, I believe, owns at least one steam locomotive that they sometimes operate, but today we have a diesel. We have 2 enclosed passenger cars, an open-air car, and the aforementioned Caboose. And these tracks are definitely narrow gauge. You can comfortably straddle them if you're as tall as me. All right, let's get on board here.
Well, half the time it's hard to hear what he's saying.
Yeah,
That's what they'll say to him, too.
So we start over here. We got a couple of chairs and a wood stove. And here we got a bench and a view at the back. And then here we have the cupola, the bit that sticks out on top. Of course, I'm going to sit up here. Looks like the Caboose is pretty popular. It's starting to fill up. And the seat's actually pretty comfortable, pretty comparable to the second-class carriage on ONCF in Morocco. Oh, I haven't posted that, have I? Let me see if this opens. Oh, it does! Okay. Okay. I like this. You can lean out. See outside the train. Hopefully I don't get yelled at. Gotta say, ride quality so far is a little bumpy. Like, I'm not sure really what this car has in terms of shock absorbers. The car is definitely shaking back and forth, bouncing up and down a bit. It's like being on Metro. So let's see how easy it is to go down a ladder on a moving train. I'm not even tall enough to be able to do this. And there we go. The ride is definitely less bouncy down here. I think the ride quality has something to do with the fact that I was sitting a bit further from the center of gravity. Biomechanics. Imagine trying to like fry an egg on here or something. Too bad they don't let you do that anymore. Did they ever specifically say not to do this? Thank you. Alright. Woo! This is the life. Alright, they're hanging on for dear life. This is very bouncy. Rail fan fanning. Although it's really hard to do this because the Caboose is so bouncy. Cupola.
What's that?
So do you guys turn the train on the Y as opposed to running the locomotive around?
Right.
Oh.
It's kind of unusual for a tourist line.
When we first opened in 1960, we had that. A train would follow back in reverse, and then couple up and then pull back. But then, I think 1963 they put in this wide. This was originally an old clay spur. It ran about 5 miles that way. And it closed around 1920.
This is a very idyllic spot for a Y. Got the little grove of trees, some embankments for the tracks. So do you guys radio to the engineer when to stop?
Well, we do, and then we also use the signals here as the hand signals too.
I see. Wait, hand signals you said?
Yeah.
What is the signal for stop or go? Ah, there we go.
Stop would be like this, and then what he's doing there, that would be reverse, and then forward would be up and down.
Oh wow. It's like a giant version of one of those Lionel switches. So apparently there are 2 Ys on the East Broad Top, one over here and one at the Trolley Museum down at the other end. But that won't be a video for another time.
The Caboose was built in 1920 here in the East Broad Top shops by the craftsmen here at the railroad. It was in service for many years. Once the railroad went out of regular revenue operation and went into tourist operation, it was restored. I believe it's been restored twice since it was built. And it's one of the staples here on the passenger train now. This was used as the office of the train. The conductor and the brakeman rode back here. The conductor did his paperwork here while the brakeman rode up in the cupola and watched out over the train for any defects.
Some diesel trains can go 100 miles an hour. So a fun fact about the East Broad Top, you can, in fact, get off at the Rock Hill Trolley Museum instead of at the main station.
Howdy!
Howdy!
So you're the one coming off to ride us?
I am.
All right.
Guess I'm the only one making the transfer.
Yeah.
Now this here is an interesting setup because the Trolley Museum uses standard gauge track, but the East Broad Top uses 3-foot narrow gauge. So I believe some of these tracks, I probably shouldn't be stepping on an active rail line, some of these tracks are dual gauge. As you can see here. You can see the standard gauge rail just kind of ends over here. And thus concludes a very wet trip report on board the East Broad Top Railroad. Hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for part 2 of this video at the Rock Hill Trolley Museum. That will be out, I believe, later this week. In the meantime, be sure to like and subscribe, and definitely check out the East Broad Top if you're ever in East Central Pennsylvania. Take care.